Is there a, there you go. I was actually sort of curious to do that too. If you wouldn't mind, maybe just sending me the recording after it's done.
Yeah, of course, I can definitely do that. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
save it to my computer because I'm gonna have to send it to my professor. That's mainly what he wanted was like the transcript.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay, cool.
awesome. So it shouldn't take very long. I did one of these interviews yesterday with a journalist from Charlotte News, and it only took about 30 minutes. So hopefully it doesn't take that long, but
Okay, sweet.
I'm
I
so
have to ask, I'm just curious, how did you, because I was telling my girlfriend about this, kind of bragging on it, because you made me feel pretty important. This is pretty sweet.
thank
But
you.
I was wondering, how did you like, did you just find me on the Citizen Times website, or how
I
did you
did.
find me?
So I was
Okay.
actually reading through the Citizen Times and I found some of your pieces and they look great to me. So I was like, I'll
Oh,
reach
thank
out to
you.
him and just see if he would be interested in doing it. Because I know some people are like, no, that's not me at all. I don't want to be interviewed. I like interviewing other people. And then
Yeah.
other people are like, I love to be interviewed. Please interview me. So I was
That's
like,
right.
it'll be hit or miss. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited and thank you for doing this with
Oh,
me.
yeah. Thank you.
Of course. All right.
Journalists are a strange breed. You're exactly right. There's a lot of us who, yeah, we get kind of prickly.
Right. For sure.
What a
Definitely.
strange breed.
I also find that there's a difference between like broadcast journalism versus writing journalism, like the different
Yes.
personalities and
Woo. You are exactly right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. My first job in the industry was with the Morganton News Herald.
Mhm.
And we worked with a guy who worked for, is it WSOC TV or WB? Well, there was a WB TV guy out of Charlotte, and they are very, as you said, very accurately. It's different, completely different ball games. Those guys are all very secure with themselves and just maybe more vain, I guess, a little bit. Whereas print journalists like me are maybe a little bit more neurotic, I think, probably. Like it's definitely it's been interesting to work with folks like that. Yeah.
That's super cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. Um, so for the first part, this is a leadership assessment. So what this is about basically is if you could think of any good leader that you've had anytime throughout your career, it could be at any job. You don't have to name the person or give any details on them, any of that. It's just basically explaining on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 would be never and 5 would be always. Tell us about their priorities in leadership. So you can rate it 1 to 5. 1 would be never, 5 always. These are leadership priorities of a good leader or good role model that you've had in the industry. So the first question would be, does this leader seek input from experts when necessary?
Oh, big time. 5. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. The
Yeah.
second one would be, do they seek the commitment of others to reach common goals?
This one in particular, I would say like a 4, maybe. Yeah, like definitely towards the high end. So 4, yeah.
Perfect. Do they generate new resources to serve their organization's goals?
I would say a 4 again. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do they articulate a clear vision of the road ahead?
A clear vision. Yeah, I would say that one was probably one of her strongest suits would be a 5. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Do they run meetings and make their presentations efficient?
Yes, another very strong point of hers. Big 5 right there. Yeah.
Awesome. Do they have a caring attitude towards others?
Uh, going back to the print journalist thing, again, I said prickly folks. Probably maybe not one of her strong suits. She's very independent and strong-willed. I would say I'd put her at a 3.5.
Perfect. Um, do they question assumptions underlying how a group has worked together?
How a group has worked together. Yeah, like a good print journalist should always question things in authority. Yes, yes, big
Awesome.
5.
Perfect. Does this person have a sense of humor?
Yes, absolutely. The newsroom at this place in particular, the Morganton News Herald was always a riot. 5 again.
Awesome. Do they step in and redirect destructive conflict?
Um, I feel like she might have found herself actually in some more conflict, as opposed to resolving it. So I would say probably, but I also saw her navigate her way through plenty of conflicts. I'd say a 4, probably.
Awesome. Um, did they have an in-depth knowledge of how to accomplish various tasks in the workplace?
Yes, 5.
Awesome. Do they have honesty and forthrightness in dealing with other people in the organization?
Absolutely. Yes, big time. Big time 5.
Perfect. Did they communicate with other people, outsiders, to learn about what they know, to learn their knowledge?
She was always trying to, which I appreciated, always trying to gain perspective from as many different sources as she could. A big 5
Awesome.
again. Yep.
Perfect. Um, did they generate a creative solution to address a complex problem?
I would say, yeah, yeah, I would say that one is a 5 as well.
Awesome. Did they consistently build on other people's ideas in problem solving discussions?
Other people's ideas. She was good about at least valuing other people's input and trying to apply their inputs as well. So yeah, I would say 5.
Awesome. Did they incorporate diverse ideas into decision making within that job
Yes.
or industry?
Yep. Yep. 5.
Awesome. Did they promote recognition of other people's contributions to the organization?
Yes, absolutely, including mine as a young upstart journalist. Yes, 5.
Perfect. That's what we love to hear.
Uh-huh.
All right. So these questions, this next section is going to be basically about the same person that the following
Okay.
questions were about. Again, it's scale 1 to 5. 1 would be never, 5 is always. And this is about their communication style. So the first one is, in important conversations, did this person insist upon a precise definition of terms?
100% without fail every single time. Went out of her way to make sure that nobody was ever misquoted. There was no ambiguity. Yeah, big time 5. Yeah.
Awesome. Did they make sure that the other party understood their priorities during interactions?
Yes. Same as the first one. Yeah. Went out of her way to ensure that there was understanding on 100% understanding.
Perfect.
5. Yeah.
Awesome. Did they make sure that the other person understood their priorities during a conversation?
Understood their priorities. That one I would say is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, because I'd say a 4 for that one.
Okay, cool. Um, to be friendly, would they verbally acknowledge others' comments quite often?
Ye Yes. Yeah, she was very personable, I would say. She kind of definitely embraced the role as a journalist of almost being like a public enemy though. So I would say that one might be like a 3 probably. I would
Awesome.
say.
Did they try to not rush to a conclusion before all issues of a topic have been explored? So did they hear all sides of an issue?
Yes, absolutely. And would go to great lengths to try to, yeah, shed light on all different points of views. I would say a 5 there as well.
Awesome. Did they always reveal their personal opinions?
Um, in the work, no, I would say if it was just us talking, I would say yeah, 5. Very outspoken in that regard, but I think that she may went to great lengths again to try to be as impartial in the work, which of course is yeah, probably the biggest thing in journalism. So I would say kind of probably right down the middle, like a 3 maybe.
Cool, perfect. Did they always stay very detail oriented when a conversation was important? So did they pay close attention to detail?
Oh gosh, much better. Yeah, it was a big help for me to sort of watch her do that because I think it definitely helped me to watch her do that. Yeah, 5, sure, strong
Oh,
5.
that's awesome. Did they try to go out of their way to engage other people in friendly conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. In the community, yeah, yeah. She
Awesome.
was the crime and public safety reporter, and she definitely was really, really good about maintaining strong relationships with community members, teachers, whoever it was. A 5 again.
Perfect. Did they like to listen very carefully to other people when they were speaking? So
Yes.
was they an active listener?
Yeah, I would say a 5 again for sure. She would recall things that I said to her that I didn't even remember saying. So big 5 again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did they openly express their feelings and emotions as they communicated? So that kind of ties in, I think, to the previous question, but
Yep, and I feel like again that was a 5, yeah, for sure. She was very present and engaged, and yeah, I would say 5.
awesome. Did they think it was important to smile when meeting other people and interacting with others?
Um, depending on who it was, I guess. Like I said, with the whole public enemy thing, that was definitely something that she didn't shy away from. I feel like was conflict. If it called for that, or if the other person sort of established that adversarial relationship. So probably a 3, right down the
Cool.
middle, I would think.
Perfect. Did they like to be accurate as they whenever they communicated to avoid any misunderstanding? And I think you touched on that earlier too.
You're exactly right. Yeah, I would say yes. You're right. That would probably be one of her strongest suits. Yeah, probably the most 5 of any of the questions I think that you've asked right there. Yeah.
Perfect. Some of these are just repeats, so I will skip over those.
Okay.
Did this person tend to be very encouraging to other people? So were they a very uplifting person to the people around them? Did they encourage them?
Yes, she was very encouraging to me, and in particular too. Yeah, and I saw her take that attitude with other people as well. I would say that's a 5 again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome to hear. Okay, so um these are going to be feelings about any supervisor you've had as well. You don't have to name the person, you don't have to give any details on them. Again, it can be the same person or a different person, but these questions are going to be rated where 1 would be strongly disagree and 7 is strongly agree. Um, so these are on a scale of 1 to 7, basically. So it's a
Okay.
little different. So the first one would be when someone criticizes this supervisor, it feels like a personal insult.
You said so 7 is strongly agree, or yeah, right? 7 is
Yeah.
strongly agree.
Yes.
I would say that one was a little bit closer to a disagree. She was pretty good about being able to establish distance herself from that kind of criticism and realize that it was part of the job. I would say that's probably closer to a 2, honestly,
Awesome.
for her.
Um, when you talk about this supervisor, you would say we rather than they.
Um, Team player for sure. I would say, yeah, I'd say like a 6.
Awesome. Would you say that this supervisor's successes are considered your successes?
Uh, yeah, again, I would say 6.
Cool. When someone would praise your supervisor, would it feel like a personal compliment to you?
Yes, 7 for that one for sure. I've probably taken more credit due to her work than than I should have.
Awesome. Um, Whenever you started this job, did your personal values and those of the supervisor become more similar in this position?
Yes, big time for sure. Yeah, she was the one that kind of took me under her wing and really molded me in the industry. I would say 7 for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the last one in this section is the reason that you would prefer this supervisor to other supervisors is because of what she stands for.
Okay.
Alrighty. So moving on to your next section of questions, which I am sorry, this is a pretty redundant list.
That's all right.
So the next section is going to be on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 would be never again and 5 is always. These are going to be leadership priorities. And most of these we've already covered, so I'm going to skip the repeats. So one that we did not cover before, did this supervisor include all cultural and ethnic groups in a task? So were all people brought in to work on any specific task?
Absolutely. Yeah. Big time 7. Working with her in the before, well, yeah, before, during, and the post George Floyd climate. Yeah, big time 7 for her. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I would imagine that would be a hard time to work during George Floyd.
As particularly, yes, in Morganton, North Carolina, which in a
Yeah.
lot of ways is, but I mean, yeah, you get it. Boone is not that far from Morganton. You know, we
Mhm.
have, it's a crazy world out there.
For sure. All right.
Ways.
So um these next questions are open-ended ones. So it's just basically you can say as much or as little as you want on this topic.
Okay.
So the first one would be, how do you think your labor is viewed by this supervisor?
I would say I when I moved up in pay raise anyways, to a different paper from the News Herald. She was super encouraging, and all that. And I would say that she definitely, as we kind of got into, she was a big time team player, super supportive. Um, and she was, yeah, she always went above and beyond, being encouraging with me. Great, just a great team player. In fact, I'm about to get a call from an editor for the Charleston paper in South Carolina. She's interviewing for a position and she used me as a reference. So this is kind of a funny thing that's going on right now because I'm about to speak to her strengths to this guy here, probably whenever you and me are done. So
That's
it's that, yeah, that's been pretty cool to see that happen because she could have left that position. Yeah, she's been more than qualified. She's could have left that position years ago, really. But yes, she's the best
awesome.
in that way.
Well, that's super encouraging and good to hear. So actually, most of my questions you've already touched on in regards to the supervisor. So that's great. That's a great thing to hear about the industry, is that there are people like that that'll sort of take you under their wing and show you kind of the ropes, which is very encouraging and uplifting, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
One of these basic questions he just wanted us to ask each person that we interview is, what is your highest level of education?
College degree, yep. Undergrad degree, yep.
Um, so that's the last question my professor wanted us to ask. Basically, I did have one question, if you wouldn't mind just sharing on this question, if you wouldn't mind to answer it for me personally.
Yeah, I'd love
What
to.
is your favorite part of like your day-to-day job working at the Citizen Times?
So for me, my job is a little bit different than what most print journalist jobs are, who a lot of them will have like a specific beat that
Yeah.
they have to follow every single day. you know, which has its certain advantages and stuff, and you can get into a kind of timeline and regimen and what have you. But my job, I've always really liked working here in this position as the Madison County Communities Reporter for the Citizen Times because I get to cover absolutely everything that happens. I live in a county that has 20, probably a little bit more than 20,000 people in it, and I'm the only print journalist in the whole county. So anything that happens in Madison County, North Carolina, little old Madison County, I am the one who gets to cover it. So there's a lot of flexibility, and also at times you're kind of restricted because if something really important happens, you sort of have to do that and put everything off to the back burner. But I would say that that sort of variability, the wide range of subjects and worldviews, all that kind of life experience stuff is probably my favorite part of the job.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that with me. That was just one question that I like to ask everybody just to see like what their favorite thing is at their job, because it's always interesting to hear the different voices and different opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, are you so it does App State, I'm sure App has a like a college student paper, right? Do they
We have the Appalachian, which is our student paper.
okay, sweet. Do you write for the Appalachian?
I don't personally. I don't know if I personally necessarily want to be like a writer or broadcast. I haven't really decided which path I want to take after I graduate. I have newsreels and I also have a lot of written samples.
Okay.
So I'm still in the process of like trying to figure out where I want to go, what I want to do in regards to after graduation.
Yeah, I was the exact I went to NC State and I was the like I wrote for the paper, but I kind of just not really even that frequently, maybe like a couple of pieces a semester or whatever. So but yeah, whatever path you take, I wish you the best, and
Thank you.
I can already tell you're gonna be great whatever you choose to do. So
Thank you. I really
yeah.
appreciate that. And I also appreciate you taking your time out of your day because I'm sure you're busy as a journalist, taking the time out of your day to do this interview. I
Oh,
really appreciate it. And I will be more than happy to send you a copy of the video or just the transcript, whichever you prefer, or both.
yeah. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind to send me I was trying to think of like I don't even, not like I need to show it to anybody. I guess my main thing is that it's cool that you reached out to me, and I'm appreciative of the fact that you reached out to me. So
Yeah,
thank you.
of course. It was my pleasure. And honestly, it was great to hear your experiences and to hear like what your favorite part of your job was. That's probably my most favorite part of doing the interviews is to like hear from the people about like what they love about their job, why they're a journalist,
Yeah,
why they chose that. So that's
yeah,
super encouraging and great to hear. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do this today because it made my day brighter just to hear about your experiences and to hear about you're a good supervisor who kind of took you under their wing. And that gives
yeah.
me hope that when I go out into the career field that I'll have somebody do that for me. So I
Oh,
appreciate
you
you saying
definitely,
that.
yeah, you absolutely 100% would. Yeah, you definitely would. And yeah, I can already tell you would be a great journalist if that was the path that you took. You would be great. And I feel this the exact same way. Yeah, this has been really cool to do this. So again, thank you for reaching out to me.
Of
And
course.
let me know if you do end up becoming a journalist. Let me know if you need a reference or whatever. We're in North Carolina. A lot of us kind of know each other from working together or whatever it is. At least know each other by name. So whatever it is, I'd love to hear back from you and hear what path you went down and what have you. So,
But
but
thank
either
you
way,
so much.
best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you have an amazing afternoon. I hope your next talk goes well. And I wish you the best of luck. And I will definitely send you a copy of this video as soon as possible, whenever it downloads to my
Awesome.
computer.
Sounds great. Thanks, Kirsten. Hope you have a
Thank
great rest of
you.
your day.
I hope you do as well. It was great talking to you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.